Hey guys, what's up? It is time to answer some questions. First off, very sad. I've lost the incredible New York skyline behind me as I've been moved into the studio for now, which has to do with the MLG Winter Arena. You guys will kind of be finding out more as to what that really means as we get closer to the weekend. But it's time to answer some questions. I've been trying to get more content up on YouTube. It is 1:50 in the morning. I gotta be up pretty early tomorrow, but gotta answer some questions. So let's do it. What is the next big turn? Oh, by the way, formspring.com/itmeJP. Yes, I will answer questions, Cammy. Even though you're getting a little saucy with me on Twitter, and no, Cammy is not my fiance. I've actually just started a terrible thing here. Anyways, screw you. What is the next big tournament you're casting at? MLG Winter Arena takes place on Friday, $20 pay-per-view event only. And then after that, probably MLG Columbus. And then I might start doing some more community-based cast. We'll see. I don't know. That might be more fun. I feel like when I don't cast a lot, it really hurts my casting. Sorry, I gotta turn this music down just a little bit. And I feel like I've improved greatly, really, with the MLG online qualifiers. At least that's what I've been told. So, I don't know. Anyways. Next question. Why so cute? I don't know. You're making me blush, man. I don't know. Thank you. Other than being a fan, what's the best way for one to contribute and become a part of esports from Wickerman? Just do it, man. Follow Nike's lead and do whatever you want. If you can make graphics for people. If you are a video producer, produce some content. Just try to help out in whatever way you can. Make a post on Reddit saying you are a so-and-so that does so-and-so. If anyone needs so-and-so, shoot me a comment, send me a PM or something like that. Holy crap, this song is bad. We need to go to the next song. 1 second, guys. Here we go. Alright, here. I'll answer questions all day to this song. Just do whatever, man. Figure out a way to make your skill set apply to esports, and when you figure that out, just start doing something. It's pretty simple. It's kind of a weird answer, but just do it, Nike. Hope YouTube doesn't fuck me over for saying that. Will MLG follow the other organizations by having team arenas? Seems as though it would be a good fit with MLG's new winter arena in a studio. We've thought about it. I don't know. The team league is kind of a saturated situation if you think about it. GSL, IPL, NASL, EG. I think ESV does some Team Liquid stuff. It's a really saturated tournament, and they are incredibly, at least I think, they're pretty hard to run compared to just a small, like 32-man bracket. So I don't know. If there's interest there, we might do it. I think it'd be more fun if we did it in person. Just something to think about. But no plans yet. So if you guys want to see something like that, let us know. Especially tweet at Sundance. He really likes to try to help the community out. And if you see something like that, he might bring it to our attention and really force the notion. So at MLG Sundance for that. Next question. Oh shit. What happened with SF4, Street Fighter 4? Did you give up already? I was looking forward to seeing progression YouTube videos. Get in that training room. No, I did not give up. I have just been incredibly busy broadcasting 4 nights a week, doing a ton of work leading up to the MLG Winter Arena. I returned home on Tuesday, and of course Mike Ross was over in Korea for the LG tournament Street Fighter Cup thing, so he's actually getting Super Street Fighter 4 pretty soon, and a 360 as well, because he didn't have one for some time. So once that happens, I'll probably record some content. I really want to play, but at the moment I just don't have the patience or the time to sit down and really grind out in the game, which that is what it takes. So thank you for showing interest, man. I hope to be able to put up some content pretty soon for it. Have you gotten any farther on Catherine? I bought it after watching you playing it. I can confirm its game is hard as butts. It's as hard as butts. Well, I don't know what butts you've been looking at, but it is a pretty tough game. No, I haven't actually played any more yet. I'm probably going to play some in just a little bit, and I'll put that up on YouTube. So look out for episode number 3, if you can really call them episodes of that. I'll probably play for about an hour or so. So no, I haven't played. More YouTube content coming up. Go check it out. What do you think of the extended series rule? I believe the first time I was encountered with it, I didn't agree with it. But after sitting down with the person who kind of basically believes it to be more legitimate, he actually convinced me of it being more legitimate. I've tried to get this person on camera and kind of explain it to people because it's such a weird debate that MLG just kind of always says like it's the right one instead of saying why it's the right one. We might be able to have him on eventually on State of the Game or something like that, but it's such a it's such an idea that is going to always have for or against if you think about it. So because of that, it's a really, really silly argument that really becomes down to no one's actually right or wrong. Both sides really have a valid point, but the point that MLG is really stuck with is that extended series is what they're going to use in a tournament. So that's why. Anyways, yeah. So that's my thoughts on extended series. Do you think there's going to be a revitalization of SC Center now that Chobo Peon's independent of MLG, or is that a thing in the past? I've thought about it. The thing that SC Center did well with MLG was that we being me and Patrick, did not have to deal with any of the graphics on a day-to-day basis. And us having to deal with that on a day-to-day basis is really, really challenging. As far as I know, Patrick basically owns the show, so to speak. So he's really free to do whatever he wants with it. I don't really care in the sense that if he does want to do something with someone else, that's 100% fine with me. All the power to him. At the moment, right now, I'm just so swamped with work that I don't really have time to commit to another show. I mean, hell, I can't even produce a weekly State of the Game right now, even though I'm trying. Tune in the next one as that comes out Tuesday, February. Fuck, it's like 24 hours or 48 hours. February 21st at 11:30 Eastern. Yeah. So Patrick, do SC Center. It's a good show. How have you improved your casting? It's improved a lot lately. What steps do you take to accomplish that besides from casting MLG / doing your projects? So the dishonest answer is that I practiced casting, played a lot of StarCraft 2, and really thought about what I was saying. I didn't do any of that. I took a long time off for casting after Providence. In fact, that was the last time that I casted anything in StarCraft 2. Was at Providence, Rhode Island, back in November. I feel like with casting, it's a... I feel so like on a pedestal saying this, but it's the type of profession where if you aren't doing it on a day-to-day basis or 4 times a week like I have been this past month, that you really, really decline in the comfortability on camera, I should say, and really just phrasing your words better, knowing the flow, thinking about how to say what and when, which is, they're all things that I do now that I've been casting a lot. And at an event like BlizzCon, I only really cast MLGs, which I think is a big flaw of my casting, to be honest. I should be doing a lot more stuff than that. And like BlizzCon, we casted, I think I casted, what, a total of 8 matches? And that was without any rehearsal or anything leading up to it. So my casting was pretty terrible at that sense. And I also don't really have I don't know my place in casting, so to speak. I think right now I've kind of found it. I personally, I think that I've kind of stepped my game up, and I hope everyone else agrees with the Winter Arena qualifiers. I feel like I have. Maybe that's just me kind of tuning my own horn, but it really just comes down to repetition and working on hosting, and also just getting feedback. It's really, really important to find a core group of people that give valuable feedback. And because of that, I think I've improved the most, probably the most that I've improved in a long, long time with casting. So first off, thank you so much for saying that it's improved a lot. That really means a lot to hear from you guys saying that. And in terms of just improving steps to casting, the troll answer, I didn't cast for 3 months, and then I casted a lot in a month's time, and I improved somehow. I don't know. I actually have been watching and kind of rehearsing in the sense of learning about the players, doing a lot of background information on a day-to-day basis because I know who I'm going to be casting. And I hope that kind of carries over to the MLG Winter Arena, as it's really helped out a lot. So thank you for the question and also for the support, man. You're awesome. What is it like to be engaged? Well, when you're engaged via troll, it's a little bit weird when your family thinks that you're engaged. And also when everyone around you doesn't know that your CEO is trolling you publicly like that. It makes things a little bit awkward when you walk into the break room and people are saying congratulations on the engagement. Who's the chick and when will I meet her? Then I'm just like, she doesn't exist, and Sundance is an asshole. And that's kind of how that goes. So that's how I answer that question. How did you get your job? How did you get your job? The cocky answer, I'm doing a lot of this today. I guess the real answer is just a lot of hard work, a lot of free work, kind of sticking my neck out there. Probably when I didn't have to, or when... You know, I could probably sum it up pretty easily. Just passion. Just always wanting to do something that I enjoy. I had worked in esports throughout the entire collegiate career. Flying out on a weekend, on a Thursday night, missing class on Friday, coming home on Sunday evening, or catching a red eye and getting into town at 7 or 8 a.m. on Monday morning. Then going to take finals or starting the first day of classes. It was really ridiculous, but... just a lot of hard work, to be honest. I mean, that it sounds so shitty saying that, but also some luck thrown in there. I was really blessed, so to speak, with the people that I surrounded myself with that wanted to actively work with me. People like Day9 really helped kind of grow my persona in StarCraft 2. In Control, Tyler, Artos is Tasteless. Just people like that kind of helping me out along the way. And really, I think state of the game is the other biggest thing. So the community is definitely one of the biggest driving forces with that. But the thing that I kind of feel about life in the sense that is, if each day you work your hardest and you do everything that you can in that day and in that time to be your best, you'll eventually get noticed for it. I mean, there's a motivational thing that I watch from time to time. It's kind of silly, but it really gets me motivated to use that word again. I'll put in the description. I'll go ahead and open it here. It's really awesome, and it's completely and it's really true. Like, it talks about how successful people know that the only thing that you have and the only thing you can't get back is time. So it's about doing the best and doing the best with the time that you have in that amount of time. And if you do that, eventually someone's going to notice it. And even if they don't, man, you can live with yourself on a day-to-day basis knowing that you didn't waste any fucking time. You did exactly what you wanted to do with it, and you tried your hardest, and that's really all that matters. So, kind of a philosophical answer to a silly, or not a silly question, but a philosophical and silly answer to what was, I think, a pretty direct question. How did I get my job? I got lucky. That's my personal view on it. But check out the motivational thing in the description of this. It's really cool, kind of chill, kind of interesting too. Is Tribes Ascend the best FPS ever made, or the greatest FPS ever made? It's all right. Quake is pretty good too. Also, do you even work out? Motherfucker. Motherfucker. What does JP in your name mean? It means John Paul. I've answered that before, but I'll answer it again because it's short. Why hasn't Drewby been on State of the Game yet? That's a good fucking question. Let me just say that I am completely impressed with Drewby from the North American Online Qualifier. Getting first in that tournament was absolutely awesome. State of the Game's really actually been kind of Team Liquid and EG members primarily in the past, with community members in there with a big name like Artosis and whatnot jumping in. Sorry. Rob, if you're watching this, you just interrupted this. Thanks a lot. But it's really been EG and TL centric, and with the last episode we saw Cats and QXE on it from Complexity. And I'm going to try to switch up the teams on it, get some more players on it and things like that. So I should get Drewby on the show more. You're right. Now a question near and dear to my heart. Who has been stealing your cookies? So, let me tell you a story, ladies and gentlemen. This evening, we are about to start the broadcast for the final day, Day 4 of the North American Online Qualifiers for the MLG Winter Arena. I've said that a billion times, so I can say it really quick. And I had not eaten dinner yet. We're about 15 minutes from going live. I've got makeup on, got the dress attire and everything on. I looked over there because that's where the studio is at the desk. And I'm hungry. I haven't eaten yet. And I'm like, guys, I'll be right back. I'm going to go get a triple shot of espresso. No cream, just take that straight up. And I'm going to get some food. So I went down stairs, and right near the office there's this deli that has a lot of cookies and stuff in it that you can buy. So I bought a box of... Ooh, new question just came in. I'll answer that in a second. I bought a box of Chewy Chips Ahoy cookies. Okay. Get back up to the office, take my triple shot of espresso, have a semi-heart attack, and eat 4 or 5 cookies. Leave the room. Have to go talk to the producer for a second. Come back, and a lot of cookies are gone. And I see a bunch of happy people around, which means those motherfuckers ate my goddamn cookies. I was not pleased, as I spent $5 or something stupid on them. So yeah, I don't know who stole the cookies. Hopefully they fess up to me. They'll probably never watch this, though. Like, killing myself here with this cord. But someone in the MLG office ate my fucking cookies. And you guys are going to pay. Thank you for the question. Guild Wars 2, great MMO or greatest MMO? Have not played it yet. No one really has. But it's going to be fun. So I'm very excited for that. Thank you for the question, Mark. Has there ever been any talk of MLG tournaments in Canada? I think Toronto or Montreal had a crazy Warcraft would be great cities to host. I completely agree. But I don't know when or if we'll ever go to Canada. It's more of a Sundance question, to be honest. So go hit him up. Favorite alcoholic drink? Beer is Lafay. I think I've answered that. I can't say it right though. Jack and Coke is kind of the normal bar drink. Rumpelmans is good. Vodka Sprite tastes like Skittles. Try it if you haven't. And birch syrup with Dr. Pepper, pretty tasty. Fireweed, which is another Alaskan distillery. Vodka with water. Sprite by itself is just damn good. It's one of my favorite alcohols, I think. So I've answered that before, but a little bit more elaborative answer. Can you talk about what video games or console you had as a child? Did you grow up in the 80s or the 90s? This will be the last question of the night as we are approaching 100,000 frames recorded, which is kind of where I generally tend to end this at. So, I played a lot of games growing up. I was born in 1986, so I guess I primarily grew up in the 90s, but I also played a lot of the initial Atari games through friends a little bit later in life, but I want to say I started out playing the NES, really watching my brother play. He's a little bit older than I am. He is, I think, turning 31 this year. But games like Master Blaster, that was a fun one. I played co-op Battletoads. Fuck you, that game is so hard. I've never beaten it. I don't even know how people beat that game. Maybe it was like Super Battletoads, the second one or whatever that was co-op. Game's rough, man. Ninja Gaiden. I remember... Sorry, I'm out of voice. I've been recording since like 3 today. And it's 2 a.m. now. I remember going to Blockbuster Video. Yes, you went to a store back in the day to rent a video game. There was no Netflix or Games Fly or anything like that, or this download bullshit. And I remember seeing, let me see if I can actually, fuck, I don't want to bring it up on YouTube. So Google Mystic Quest in the image search. It was a Square game, and that, I want to say that was the first RPG I ever saw, but I didn't enjoy it. It was a pretty simple RPG for the Super NES. And then I remember the next big game was I went to Blockbuster. I was going over to a friend's house for a like a sleepover or whatever that you did back in the day. And I rented Mega Man Soccer for the Super NES. And I rented a little game called Chrono Trigger. The first game, I didn't really... I knew what Mega Man Soccer was, but I didn't know what Chrono Trigger was about. The box art looked kind of cool. It had this red-haired guy with like a frog with a fucking giant sword and shit. I was kind of interested in it, but I didn't know what it was. And I didn't really know what to expect. So, I remember going over to my friend's house. We put in Chrono Trigger. He was... he went and did something. I don't know what it was. I think he had a trampoline or something. He was on the trampoline. And I put in Chrono Trigger, and it, like, the game starts up, and it's like, Chrono, wake up, Chrono, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, what? Why am I fucking reading in a video game? Like, I want to play the goddamn game. And it does the, kind of the flyby thing of the present time of Medina, or whatever. Medina Village, I think is what the name of it was. And it did that flyby, and I was like, this game is kind of weird, but the graphics are cool. I like this little cinematic thing. And then it asked me to name my character, and my friend walked in and was kind of like, what is going on? How do I play this game? What are you doing? I was like, I don't know. Do you want to play Mega Man Soccer? And he was like, yeah, let's play some Mega Man Soccer. So I put in Mega Man Soccer. And I remember that game was a ton of fun back in the day. Doesn't really hold up now. I actually played it pretty recently. The game is fucking terrible, but I was really into it back then. Oh yeah, and I remember I played all the Mega Mans before this. That's why I was interested in that. I would go over to my friend's house and play NES, and like we would have to write down all the fucking codes and shit, which was like a it was an XY chart. You had to like remember the dots to put in the passwords to go to certain. It was really ridiculous back in the NES days. But played all the old Mega Mans too. But this was the first game that had an impact on me. So later that night, later the next day, I went home and started Chrono Trigger again. And I remember I sat down, I named my character Chrono. I just kept the name. I thought, oh, that's kind of a cool name, Chrono. And Marl, I kept that name too for the Princess Nadia or whatever. I'm nerding out here. Yeah, so I went home, played the game, and I was immediately hooked. I played that game for 7 or 8 hours in the first sitting, and I was like, holy shit, they're telling me a story here. This is like reading a book, but I'm interacting with it, and I'm fighting monsters, and I'm getting new levels, or getting levels and getting items, and I was hooked then. I always loved RPGs. I always looked for the name Squaresoft because I knew that was going to be a good game. The next big one, of course, was Final Fantasy VI, which very sad story. Final Fantasy VI. I have played Final Fantasy. Sorry, I have played Final Fantasy VI from start to finish. Well, I've played the entire game 5 times. And I've told this story before, but I don't think I've ever said it on YouTube. I think I said it in State of the Game, but I've never beaten Final Fantasy VI. Every time I get close to beating it, my brother would pull the disc from the NES as it was saving, or when I was in game, deletes the save. I played it on the PS3, or the PS1, I think, when they re-released it. And he pulled the memory card. Played it on the Game Boy, or the Nintendo DS, maybe DSi, something like that. And something happened with that save. I think I like washed the DSi or something. Point is, I never beat that game, but I remember going to Blockbuster and renting that game and getting to the very end and something fuck up with it. Going to the Blockbusters, calling all the Blockbusters around town after a couple of years it had been out and no one had it because they were all on N64s and PlayStation then. So I really grew up on RPGs. I played a lot of FPSs, of course. GoldenEye on the 64 was fucking incredible. I started playing StarCraft as the first ever PC game, and I want to say that was, of course, that was like, I think that game came out in '99, so that was the first PC game I ever played, and I got pretty hooked. My brother had AOL back at the time. I think everyone else did as well. I remember playing a lot of StarCraft 1. I was always amazed when I would go and look in channels, and you'd see that little icon with like the planet and the number next to it, and anyone that was like over 1,300 on the US, I was like, oh my god, this player is so fucking good. I would hang out on Clan X17, saw and played against players like DS Space Food, DS Snow. Testy, of course, was a big name back then and still kind of is. Saw like Kid, X17, Gozeta. And the funny thing is that they were never really all that good. I remember actually seeing 88 in Control and thinking like, oh my god, that guy's a badass. Then I found out a couple of years later that he was just a big goofball. So joke was kind of on me. But after that, went into Quake 3. Quake 3 was actually, that picture that I showed in the past questionnaire was from a Quake 3 tournament. I fell in love with that game. Played it nonstop. That was in high school. I remember faking sick to play it. Going to LANs all the time. And then went into Counter-Strike, played that a little bit. And then I found a game called Dark Age of Camelot. And that was the first MMO that I had ever played while it wasn't out at the time. Dark Age was really ahead of the time with its PvP system. And a lot of the Quake guys that I played with locally that I went to these LANs with, like QuakeCon and whatnot, started playing it with me. Really fell in love with 8v8. Kind of getting back to my RPG roots. 8v8 in that game was really the competitive format. It was super fun. Such an incredible game. Then World of Warcraft came out, was in the beta for that, played that a shit ton, and kind of just bounced around from game to game from there. Battlefield 2, loved the fuck out of that game. Battlefield 1, that game was so much fun at LAN parties. I'm getting really, really nostalgic now about all these games. But I hope I answered your questions. I grew up in the 90s basically, but I was born in '86. So yeah, that was a good question, man. Thanks for the run down memory lane. So that will actually do it, as I have broken 100,000 frames encoded. Last question here. It's kind of a funny one. I'll go ahead and do it. Alin Huang, Lindsay Spore, Slayer's Eve, or Megumi X-Bear. Got to go with Trisha here, followed by Alin. Don't really know Lindsay or Eve that much, but Trisha's awesome. That's Megumi, or Megamix. And then Alin, pretty good friends with her, so that's the answer. You probably wanted me to rate them by hot or not, but whatever. I rated them by friendship level, I guess, or that's fucked up to say. Regardless, though, that is going to do it, guys. I don't know when I'll do another one of these. It's going to be an incredibly, incredibly busy week. And being that it's 2 a.m., I might not record Catherine. I'm very tired. Game kind of hurts my brain, but that's it. Thank you for watching. It's been fun. That's it. Peace.